is the source of all for our spiritual lives. Okay, Hare Krishna. So, Lord, Balarama, he appeared with Krishna in the Dwapara Yuga, and he had considered, let's see, when I came along with Ram, I was the younger brother, and for the sake of his pastimes, in order to kill Ravana and all that, Rama took too many, austerities. And whatever he did, Lakshmana could not say anything. He had to keep quiet and obey instructions. So many difficult moments, when one was, when he was asked to create a fire so that Sita could enter the fire, or when Sita had to come out of the fire, all these things. And then he had to take Sita and leave her in the Valmiki's ashram. Those moments were very terrible for Lakshman, and he could not oppose Rama's instructions. So he thought, if I'm the elder brother, then I will be in a position to instruct him. So he became the elder brother of Krishna. And Balram, he is the direct expansion of Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. And actually, he has all the qualities of Krishna. There's no difference between Krishna and Balaram. Both are Supreme Personality of Godhead. In fact, Balramji has got, he even has his own set of gopis and all that. So, all ways, and he's always with Krishna in all his pastimes. But his mood is that even though being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he wants to only serve Krishna. He doesn't think of himself as God. Whatever he does, it is for Krishna's pleasure. And so, and in fact, even if he has to preach, he has to give mercy to people, only whatever Krishna tells. I mean, we see how as Nityananda Prabhu, he did not preach at all. He was going all over the country before he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He did not start preaching at all because he thought only when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs me, I will do it. And so, after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him instructions, especially in Puri, he told him, you go to Bengal and make everyone devotees. That he did very sincerely, and the whole Bengal he flooded with Krishna Prem. So, that is his mood. And And so he wants to just facilitate, be an assistant of Krishna in his pastimes. So that's the mood of service is a wonderful thing. And Balarama, being the first expansion, he exemplifies, how a devotee should be. He acts as a devotee of Krishna. He doesn't act like the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so he also instructs us. I mean, he's a very good example for us on what should be our mood towards Krishna. The mood of service is much more attractive than being a Lord. Even Balrama is showing he is the Lord. And he's saying that is not that he wants to be only servant of Krishna. And so, even being a the merging and the Brahmajyoti, okay, no material problems. Without material problems, but if there is no service of Krishna, we cannot get happiness. So, and Balaram, his name means one is he is full of strength, he is very powerful, material power and also spiritual power. For us, he gives us spiritual power in our devotion because he's the Adi Guru. So, first Guru is him. And for us, Balrama gives us strength to make spiritual progress, provided we accept our Guru and follows instructions and also Krishna's instructions. Then Balrama gives all strength to make further progress. So, our Guru himself is a representative of Lord Balrama. And that is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his pastimes because Balrama expands himself in so many ways. I mean, as Sankarshana, then Anantasesha, Nityananda, and of course as Lakshman. So like this. So pardon. Um, so he, in his he expands himself, and then he wants to. Why did I say that? A source of strength, isn't it? That's what I was trying to tell. Yeah, Bala. Um, so he's very, very powerful physically also, and also he gives spiritual strength to everyone. And why is he Rama means someone who's enjoying within himself. Rama means one who is always enjoying, enjoying great pleasure. Not only is he enjoying, but he gives us also pleasure. And so he's called Balaram. He's got other names also, Balabhadra, and what is, yeah, then Sankarshana. Why is he called Sankarshana? Because actually Balrama is Rohini Nandan. Yes, Rohini is his mother. But then why did he take first appear in the womb of Devaki? And then he was taken from Yogamaya took him from Devaki's womb to Rohini's womb. Yeah, even though Rohini was not staying there, she was in Gokula, and Devaki was with Vasudeva in Mathura. So, because we know that Balrama, he always makes every proper arrangement for Krishna, for his rest, for his stay, and so I mean, as Ananta Sesha, he always is there to so that Krishna could rest very comfortably on him. So he went into Devaki's womb after the six children were killed, not killed, yeah, killed by Kamsa. Then Balrama appeared in Devaki's womb, and he made it, conducive for Krishna to appear. And then Yogamaya took him to Rohini's womb. And he's called Sankarshana because he brought these two families together. The family of Vasudeva, Bhojas, right? It belongs to that family, and the family of Nanda Maharaj. They, because of this kind of connection, even Krishna, even though he's their child, he was brought up by Nanda Maharaj's family, and Balarama, he is also because of, yes, he was Nanda Maharaj, Vasudeva is his real father, but because he was with Rohini, and Rohini, all the while she stayed there only in Vrindavan. So that is how he got that name, because, and then what are yeah, Anantasesha. As Anantasesha is holding up, see, he's always helping Krishna as an assistant. And in this material world, of course, as Anantasesha is the bed, and then he's also got another form. As Anantasesha, he is also holding up all the planets on his head, which are like mustard seeds for him. He doesn't even feel that, that they are there on his head because he is so huge. And on the Patala Loka, he is there as Sankarshan. And only at the time of destruction, as Anantasesh, then he becomes very angry. And because he's given chance to all these, Krishna has given a chance to all the human beings here to finally surrender to Krishna, but they don't seem to be surrendering. They're happily enjoying materially. So the time for dissolution has come, and so he becomes very, very angry. And then first, what happens? All the air is breathing, his breathing, that breath comes, and there is huge winds flowing all over the universe. And then from air comes fire. Then it starts, scorching everywhere, burning the whole universe. And from fire, then water. Fire becomes water. But, I mean, that is how the creation takes place, right? From ether to air to fire to water. And so then the fire turns into water, and that is how pralaya happens all over the place. So he is, you know, assisting Krishna like that. So in all these roles. So Balramji, because of his service attitude, so much extensive, complete service attitude, he wants to serve him in all the five rasas. You can understand how enthusiastic he is to serve. And this facility is allowed to for all living entities. You can serve in whichever rasa you want. You want to serve in all the rasas? Okay, you're welcome. And the greatest inspiration and example is Balramji. So we know in the Shantaras, he is the Dham or abode of where the Lord is. The full Vaikuntha Dham or Goloka Vrindavana, the Dham is Balramji's expansion. Even Tirupati, we know that the seven hills are actually Balram's body. That's why even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't even want to climb with his feet. He actually crawled on top because it's Balramji's body. And then he also expands himself uh, as his clothes, his shoes, his sacred thread, Janayu, he wears, his umbrella, all these are Balramji's expansions. So in Shantaras, he serves him like that. In Dasiras, even though he is the elder brother, what he does when they go for cow herding in the morning, and they have a lot of, they have to walk a long way and then, graze those calves. And Krishna becomes a little tired. So then they ask Krishna to lie down on, and he rests his head on one of the gopas, and Balramji sits and massages his legs so that he may feel comfortable and revive himself. So like that, he's got Dasya also. And then Vatsalya. He is like an elder brother, and when parents are not around, he's completely taking care of Krishna in all respects. We know even as a child, when Krishna ate mud, immediately Balramji went and reported to mother. Mother, see what he's doing. He's putting all mud into his mouth. And Balramji is always watchful. He keeps Krishna out of mischief. So much so that actually people all felt very, very comfortable if Balramji is going with Krishna. Oh, he will not get into any trouble. If Balramji is not around, then suppose they experience some ill omens, like their men, they find their right eye is twitching or right hand is, shivering. And then ladies, sorry, for men, it is left eye twitching, and left hand twitching is considered inauspicious. And for ladies, it's opposite, right hand twitching and right hand or leg is twitching means that something inauspicious. So they would immediately get worried. Oh, they were not thinking about their own what's going to be inauspicious. They were thinking of something may happen for Krishna. And so, like that, the day when Krishna did this thing on the Kalia dance, that day, what happened? Balramji didn't go to the forest along with Krishna. And Krishna jumped on Kalia. Balramji would never have allowed him to do that. And he was completely Kalia held him by the coil for one full muhurta, 40 minutes. Krishna was in the coils of Kalia. So at that time, so this is what the inauspicious thing was, that, or we know when um no, which was that pastime when, yeah, and Damodar Leela also. Damodar Leela happened, all this binding of the rope, Mother Yashoda tying him up and all that. That day also Balramji was not there. Rohini Ma had taken him to visit one of the uncle's houses. So Krishna was very, very naughty and got into trouble. So Balramji is like a parental figure, always taking care of Krishna in a parental mood. And then we have Madhurya Ras, and for that he expanded himself as Ananga Manchari and sister of Radharani, and so he could enjoy the pastimes as Gopi also. Completely, this is because he's the best servant of Krishna. On the one side, we have Radharani, who's the best servant, and then the other part is the Lord, I mean, Balaramji, who's inseparable from Krishna and who is the exemplary servant of Krishna. And so um, when Balramji was born, then when they were just after a few days, but actually, um, even though, yeah, Balramji was born um, a few months before, actually, it's just 1 week difference. And but there must be, I mean, his elder brother, so definitely he was born a little ahead, a few months. And then Krishna was born. And after the birth of these two, then Vasudeva thought that, they are my children and all the proper these things should happen, like the priest going and seeing their horoscopes and all these things, whatever samskaras have to be done. So he sent his own priest, Gargamuni, to go there. Initially, Gargamuni was a little apprehensive. He said that, if I go there and we have a big ceremony, birth ceremony and all that, then all the Kamsa will come to know, and he will know that he is your son, and then there'll be problems. But then, so let us have it very, very, very quiet affair. So in a cow shed, that is where Gargamuni went and performed all the, rites after the birth. And at that time, he also saw, he gave the names, our name giving ceremony. For that, he sent him. And he also saw their horoscopes and predicted what's going to happen and gave their name. So he said his name is Balarama because he'll give great pleasure to all the family members, to all the devotees. And he, what else did he say? So, in this way, yeah, that is how his birth ceremony, I mean, name giving ceremony happened. And so he and Krishna were always, then they were, when they started crawling. So when they were crawling, then, suddenly they would see some ladies, gopis. I mean, they were crawling all over the courtyard. And sometimes they would see some ladies, gopis, just, I mean, seeing their skirts, and they were small and they were so tiny. And then, they didn't know. They thought maybe this is Mother Yashoda or Rohini. And then they would pull their, dress. So the gopis would turn and look at them. And then Krishna and Balram would think, oh, this is not our mothers. And then they would get so frightened and they'll quickly crawl back to their own mothers. So, like this, like children, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the source of everything, come and they are enjoying themselves in the mood of of an infant. The difference between Krishna's pastimes as an infant and our pastimes as an infant is that in infancy, we are not able to enjoy something. The baby only enjoys some kind of physical experiences. In the beginning, only the tongue is very active. Everything you put it in the mouth. But Krishna does that externally, but he's also enjoying spiritually his leelas as a baby. And so then after that, what would happen is in the courtyard, these calves would be there, and Krishna would hold on to the tail. Balram also. They'd hold on to the some calf's tail, and the calf would get frightened and start running. And they were afraid to let go of the tail because now they were, being dragged. And they'll hold on to the tail, and they were, on their bellies. They'll be pulled all over the place, all over Braj. In the courtyard, of course, made of very, very fine sand of Raman Reti, how fine it is. Very soft. And not only that, cow urine, cow dung. This is what it was made up of. And in that place, Balramji would also be dragged like that all over the place, and they enjoyed that ride. So then, oh, as a friend, I didn't discuss, I said about Vatsalya, but as a friend, Balramji was always Krishna's companion, um, you know, in all the activities. So when they became about 4 or 5 years old, then, they said that Krishna said, I want to go, I will take care of the cows and all that. So Mother Yashoda was very frightened. But then he and Balrama every day would go with the cowherd boys along with the calves. And on the way, they would have fun, like imitating animals, birds, and all that. So Balramji would, it's mentioned in the Krishna book, how he imitated the peacock dancing, moving his neck like a peacock, and also making sounds like the peacock. And then Krishna would, croak like a frog. And some other children, they would act like a monkey or a bird. And in this way, they would enjoy themselves and go. And so, so many pastimes they had during this cowherding times. They're meeting many, demons and so on. And we know Balramji was only a supporting person of Krishna. Whatever Krishna wanted, whichever demons he wanted to kill, then Balramji would just keep quiet and allow Krishna. I mean, he didn't, also try to do anything. He was just a supporting person. Only when Krishna asked him to kill some demons, he would kill that, or he was forced to, for protecting, like we know Denukasura, Pralambasura, like that. He killed Rukmi, and so in this way, um, and yeah, there were a few people that Balramji also killed. Otherwise, we can see what a wonderful. I mean, he was just always just as a person who helped Krishna's pastimes. He himself did not try to force himself into any of the situation. Like even as only whatever Krishna instructs that he would do. Even as Nityananda, in Chaitanya Leela also he came as his elder brother. And when he was traveling all over India, I mean, before he met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there were ample opportunity for him to preach. He also could have given the holy name, or he could have all Krishna's instructions, but he didn't. He was just traveling around, seeing the deities, visiting holy places, and then waiting in Mathura. He would just enjoy his cowherding pastimes by jumping into the water and making roaring noises. He felt he was in the mood of a cowherd boy. So only after he came, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him instructions. You should preach, especially in Puri. He told him that, see, I'm taking care of now this thing, Puri, I mean, Orissa. You preach in Bengal. He sent him there. And he did such a good job. He went and gave a report in a few years' time. Whole of Bengal is flooded. Now, no more to preach. And so um, that is his mood. We have to learn that how actually doing service on our own, uh, by our own, what you call, inspiration. Doing service is one thing, but we have to train ourselves so that we get the inspiration. It's because of Guru's mercy, Guru's instructions, Krishna's inspiration, what Krishna arranges for us to always be dedicated to just supporting and serving Krishna, not for our own, not to act independently. So, I mean, this is a very good instruction and example we get from Balarama, that in spite of having all the capabilities as Krishna, he waits for Krishna's instructions to do anything. This is very advanced, very, I mean, that is pure devotional service. We don't do anything for ourselves. Whatever Krishna arranges, whatever Krishna instructs, through, of course, through the Guru, through Vaishnavas, then we just do that. Very, very exalted level. See, there are devotees doing many services, even very advanced devotees. But somewhere, like the Ritviks, for example, they're also doing service. Sometimes, you really wonder. Many times, devotees also mention, oh, how come they're continuing to do such big, big services? How many temples he has built? And book distribution also, they're top in that, and so on. But the final thing, which which falls short of the ideal thing, is not doing it for the pleasure of Guru. For your own pleasure, you may do so many things. Then what is the difference? People may think, oh, how come he is serving so nicely? He's serving, but there is some personal motive behind it. That is the finer thing, which is very difficult to understand. Because externally, we may think, I'm also serving now, I'm doing so many services. Why Guru is not pleased with me? No, Guru may be pleased. Guru is pleased with everything. Even just start chanting Hare Krishna mantra itself, he is very pleased. He's pleased, but he is not satisfied that this is perfection. He'll still try to perfect us, because this is I mean, when we read Balramji's dedication, then we understand the mood of how we should serve Krishna. He had all the capabilities of doing exactly like what Krishna did. And still, he had no motivation on his own to do anything. Only when Krishna told him to do something, he did. That is spiritual life. Everything for the pleasure of Krishna, nothing for myself. And that service attitude is the what gives maximum happiness. In the spiritual world, all of them are serving Krishna very selflessly, and they get so much ecstasies. In fact, the more one is selfless, like the gopis are considered the topmost, because they really have no thinking even about themselves, even to maintain their bodies. They have no separate interest in anything. That is our original nature. All of us as souls, we have this kind of selfless nature by which to give pleasure to Krishna. Everything for his happiness, nothing for myself. In fact, even there are families, everything in the spiritual world, but all of them are, they love Krishna much more than themselves, their family members. Nothing compared to how much they love Krishna. So that um, completely only in love with Krishna. That's natural. Here we are, because we are covered up with material consciousness, we have to force ourselves, we have to train ourselves how to think of Krishna first. Mm. And that's why we have to pray to Balramji that as Balrama, you gave mercy to who? Duryodhan. The, Krishna gave mercy to all devotees, Pandavas, and so on. Whoever surrendered to him, whoever didn't surrender to him, he just, I mean, like all the asuras, he killed. And even in Mathura, when he was walking, and those who didn't go by whatever he asked, they didn't give him, he just terminated them. But Balram, what did he do? He thought, okay, this Duryodhan, most fallen soul. Hmm. So I'll try to give mercy to him also and try to elevate him. He did that, but then, of course, it was no use. Duryodhan liked Balrama, but everything only as long as it didn't go against his sense gratification. The minute there was something, then, which was coming in the way, then he didn't think of Balrama or anything. He even went against him. We see that. So that is his mercy. And so we have to pray to him to give us that same Krishna Prem, which Nityananda Prabhu gives in this age very easily, because he also, compared to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he only was giving to very exalted souls like Pratap Rudra, Keshav Kashmiri, or Prakashananda Saraswati, very great Pandits. And it is Nitai who was going door to door, begging all ordinary people, please take Krishna's name and follow his instructions, offer obeisances. He was training all the ordinary people. And not only ordinary people, he was training the worst Jaga and Madai criminals also. So Balrama is also like that, waiting to give his mercy, very kind hearted. And we need to really get so that what is already within us, the prema, that is only that will satisfy us completely. Whatever work we do it in the mood of service for the pleasure of Krishna, then we will understand that everything is the opulence of Krishna. Whatever we see belongs to Krishna. That's great. I mean, everything is energy. Everything is his opulence. And my duty is, or my inclination even, is to simply satisfy Krishna. It may seem very, very difficult in material consciousness, but if we surrender and take blessings of Lord Balarama, then he can reinstate us in our original position so that we naturally, because it's so ecstatic, they're all showing us this is how ecstasy is if you do everything for Krishna. And for us in material consciousness, it seems like a very, very difficult thing. For us, it is very natural to do all sense gratificatory attitudes. Everything is for myself, my happiness. And then these pastimes, we know Balramji, he killed all these demons like um, Pralambasura and Dhenukasura. So all these demons signify some anartha, right? Dhenukasura signifies what? Um, demonic creature. Pralambasura for lust. I think Dhenukasura for pride, like this. So all the anarthas that we have in our heart, we should pray to Balramji. You killed all those demons. Please, they are personified demons, in personification of those qualities you killed. But then within my heart, all these are residing. So please, you also kill it today. Today is your auspicious appearance day. Please enter and kill them, finish them off, so that I can also be reinstated in my original happy state without a care and always in the mood of service. Then there's no problem at all. The problem, all of problems we face is only when we come out of that service mode and we become in material consciousness, where we are working for our material sense gratification, then we experience material problems also, and they seem like insurmountable. And the minute we establish ourselves in transcendental consciousness, I'm simply a servant of Krishna, and we just want to serve him, then we don't even notice those problems because we are on the elevated problem. We don't experience any problem. Problems are there only when we come out of that service attitude. I mean, we already came out of that service attitude when we forget. Now by chanting Hare Krishna mantra, we understand that I'm actually a servant of Krishna. And whenever we forget that and we think I'm also an enjoyer, I'm a lord, and I need to dominate, I need to establish my this thing, supremacy or whatever. That is when, okay, danger bells, alarm, danger alarm should, uh, you know, vibrate, because that is sure this thing indication that now I'm going to have problems. And that is why we have to knock on the head every morning, like Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, that, beat the mind, because mind is where all the sense gratificatory attitudes are. And within the heart is where the mode of service is, because the Atma is there in the heart. The more that's why the holy name acts. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, don't even go near the mind, because if we start listening to the mind even a little bit, then our consciousness is corrupted and our chanting will not give us happiness. Happiness comes when we ignore the mind and we are just hearing the holy names, which is just saying, I want to serve you, Krishna, I want to serve you, Krishna. That is the battle. And then we must beg Baldev that today, today, every day, and today especially, please remove all my dirty desires to dominate, to enjoy with my senses and all these things. So, which is the root cause of all unhappiness. And the minute we establish ourselves as a servant, there is no problem only. Where is the problem? That's how Prabhupada used to make, whichever this one, the temple presidents used to come for a meeting with him. They'll come with a big list of problems to ask Prabhupada how to solve. And then Prabhupada, let us have a kirtan first. So they would sing with Prabhupada. If you sing, then very, very service. The mood would be completely surrendered, submissive to Krishna. Then he said, okay, now tell what your problems are. Then they would say, Prabhupada, actually, no problems. Problems are when you have a materialistic mind. And the minute we bring it to the mood of a servant, oh, big magic, all problems disappear, which is a fact. You see, because when as a servant, we'll have a completely different perspective of the situation. And then we'll see, and Krishna will also tell us how to solve the problems very easily. He inspires from within, or he allows somebody else to help us something. So then Balram ji, he also, his protective nature towards Krishna is that, another example of that is when Krishna went, leaving, he got a letter from Rukmini saying that, please come and save me, kidnap me from here, because my marriage is going to happen tomorrow early morning to Shishupal. It has been arranged. So you please come and kidnap me. So Krishna, he immediately left, immediately on horseback to go to, to Kundinapura, where Rukmini was. And at that time, then Balramji thought, oh my God, Krishna is going alone. I should also go with him. So he takes an army and goes behind Krishna. Even though Krishna is equally, he alone can fight one big army. But this is Balramji's mood, always behind, always supportive. Even as Nityananda Prabhu, what he would be doing is whenever, like for example, in the Rath Yatra, no, in Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made different groups of singers, dancers, who will be the lead singer, who will be the lead dancer, all that he used to arrange. So when he was thinking about Nityanand Prabhu, where you will go, Nityanand Prabhu said, no, no, my only duty is to be with you. I want to support you, because Nityanand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his ecstasies, he would sometimes swoon and keep falling down. And that time Nityananda Prabhu would be there immediately. He'll clasp him and hold him. So he was is always very satisfied simply to take care of Krishna. And well, yeah, in the pastime of, yes. And then what happened, in Naimisaranya, when Srimad Bhagavatam was about to be spoken, when all the sages in the beginning of this Kali Yuga, they had all, or maybe end of Dwapar Yuga, in that period. So Balramji, I mean, the war was taking place, Mahabharat war, and Balramji didn't want to participate. He didn't want to take sides, because for him, he was equal even to Kauravas. He didn't like this family feud. So he I mean, he was visiting all the holy places, and finally he came to Naimisaranya. And that is where Roma Harshana, the father of Suta Goswami, he was the one. I mean, he is very well qualified. He was Vyasdev's disciple and very well read and knew all the Shastras. So they had installed him in the Vyasapeeth, and he was lecturing them on Srimad Bhagavatam. And when Balrama came there, then everybody, they were so excited to see him. They all stood up and then fell flat on the ground, except Roma Harshana. He was sitting in the Vyasasan, thinking that, see, now I'm giving class. So I have no need for me to get up. So then, actually, yeah, normally Vyasasan, okay, you don't have to every time when you see the deity's curtain open and close and all that, we just mentally we pay obeisances. We don't have to each time get down and pay obeisances. But still, this is Supreme Personality of God. It is directly coming there. And he was just sitting there. And Balrama thought, what kind of teaching, what is he going to teach them when he hasn't even absorbed the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam? What is Srimad Bhagavatam? It is teaching complete surrender to Krishna. And this person is going to teach them Bhagavatam. So he got very angry, and he went and he just took a piece of grass and he struck him with that and killed him. So then all the people, they said, oh my Lord Balarama, hmm, we were hoping to learn Bhagavatam from him and you've killed him. But anyway, we accept. Balramji was, ready. He said, okay, you don't want him dead and all. No, no. If you have killed, we accept that. There must be a good reason for that. But what do I do now? And then he suggested that his son, Suta Goswami, is more qualified. So you can learn from him. And so that's why Suta Goswami's glorification is there in Srimad Bhagavatam, about how he is very qualified to teach Bhagavatam. So that is one person he killed. And then, who was that? Pralambas. Then Rukmi also he killed. And one more. Um, okay, Rukmini's brother. Balram, actually, when Krishna was fighting with Rukmi, because when Krishna kidnapped Rukmini, then there was naturally there was a backlash. All the other kings, they were all very angry, and Rukmi was very angry because he wanted Rukmini to marry his friend Shishupala. So he attacked along with Shishpala and other people, Ekalavya, many kings, they all came. And at that time, Krishna, he could have easily killed Rukmi. But then Rukmini pleaded with him that, please be merciful to my brother. So he just dishonored him by chopping off his hair. For a Kshatriya, that is, no, it shows that you're defeated, and that's bad enough. So he did that. At that time, Balrama, he thought that, Rukmini might feel bad that this sort of thing has happened, because naturally she is just married, and she was attached to her brother also. She didn't want him to be killed. So Balaram, he actually stopped, I think, Krishna from killing Rukmi also. And Rukmini actually entreated him. And he also scolded Krishna. Why did you do like this or something like that, just to satisfy Rukmini so that she wouldn't feel bad? It's a beginning of their married life. He's taking her, kidnapping this thing. So he wanted Rukmini to be happy. So he took her side and chastised Krishna like that. And another time, okay, Rukmi he killed later. Actually, Rukmi and Krishna, they had a lot of familial connection, because his daughter married Krishna's son. And later, grandchildren also, there was a connection, because this no, brother and sister's children can get married to one another. So they had all these close connection. And it was during the wedding of, I think, Anuruddha and Usha. No, that was Banasura's daughter. No, before that, which is the wedding, um, Krishna's, I think, Pradyumna, or no, not Pradyumna.
Samba and Duryodhana's daughter Lakshmana.
No, here Rukmi's someone married Krishna's.
Rukmi's daughter, Mataji. Rukmi's daughter married, I think, Pradyumna only, Mataji.
Okay. So that marriage ceremony, they were all there, and Kshatriyas, they normally sit and gamble, play cards and all that. So they were gambling. And actually, Balrama is, he does the Leela that he's not very good in gambling. So he was losing. And Rukmi was very enjoying himself very much, and all that. Then at one time, Balrama actually won. He got all the money back. And Rukmi, he just took it away from him. He said, no, it doesn't belong to you. And he took it away. So then, and he was also making fun of Balrama, with his bare teeth and all that. So Balrama got very angry with him, and he actually chopped him off, chopped off his head. So like that, Rukmi was another, just a few of these people whom he killed. Who else did he kill? Devnakasura, Pralambasura, Rukmi, and this, and so anyway, we know at the.
Rukmi's daughter is married to Pradyumna, Mataji, Rukmavati.
Rukmavati is married to Pradyumna.
And they both got son Aniruddha.
Yes, okay. And Aniruddha married Usha, Banasura's.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also Balrama killed gorilla.
Correct. Vivida gorilla. Yes. So when Balrama went to, yes, he acted as a doot of Krishna, because Krishna sent Uddhava. And then once Balrama on his own, he saw that always he used to tell Krishna, please go to Vrindavan. They're all suffering so much. And Krishna will say, yes, we'll go. But every time there would be some emergency or the other, because always demons attacking Mathura and all that. So he never could go. So Balram said, I'm going. And he went and he stayed for some days to give pleasure to all the Brajavasis, Nanda, Yashoda, and all that. And he had his own set of gopis. So one night he was, having enjoying with them, and that time this Dvivida, he was actually gorilla. Dvivida gorilla. Actually, he was there during Krishna's past. I mean Rama's pastimes, and he had actually helped a lot in fighting against Ram. He became very, very powerful. And so he became a little puffed up. And because of that, he was still continuing to live, just like Jambavan and all that. And his mentality had become polluted. So he wanted to enjoy like the Lord. And when he saw Balrama with all the girls, with the gopis, then he started, making funny noises, and he tried to attract those girls. And what is that? A word he used? Something he shouted, and he was trying to draw attention of the gopis, and he was making all gestures to them. So Balrama got very angry, and then I think he uprooted a tree and just hit this one, Vivida gorilla, and killed him. So these are the few asuras that he killed, but otherwise he was completely, and many times he was very upset. He would correct Krishna. I mean, he didn't like when Arjuna was going to marry this one, Shubhadra, their sister. Balrama wanted to give Shubhadra to, I think, Duryodhana's son. Oh, whom did he want to marry?
Balaram wanted Duryodhana to marry Duryodhana only, Mataji.
Acha, he
Duryodhana.
wanted Duryodhana to marry Subhadra, imagine. So Krishna didn't want that. And so somehow Arjuna came at that right time. And he was very happy when Arjuna and Subhadra were attracted. And he helped them, Arjuna, they both planned that Arjuna will come and kidnap her and take her away. So when that happened, then Balrama was very angry with Krishna, with Arjuna also. And he wanted to take the army and go attack Arjuna. But Krishna only stopped him. So, like this, Balrama plays this part. It is an understanding between them. Like he's always like they complement one another. Because certain things, for example, even the Brahma Vaivohana Leela, where Brahmaji comes and hides all the calves and the coward boys inside a cave. So at that time, Balramji, he didn't know. Every day he and Krishna were going with all the expansions of Krishna, calves and boys. Every day they were going. He never realized that these boys and calves are Krishna's expansions. And that is also, like somehow it happened like that. Krishna didn't want him to know. Why? Because he thought that Balrama might miss the friends and the calves. So he kept it out of Balrama's
Mataji, also
knowledge.
he was not there during Agasura Vada also, right, Mataji? Balaram. That's why he didn't know about that.
Okay. Yes, Agasura also. He didn't know that. And and yeah, that's why soon after that, this thing happened, right? After the Agasura thing. So he didn't know for one full, no, just after that. That's why after this Leela was over, the boys, they just woke up and they thought they just finished the Agasura Leela. That is from the side of the boys. And Balramji, on that day, maybe he was not there. So he didn't know that this Leela happened, correct? When Agasura, soon after Agasura was killed, then this pastime happened that they all came down to eat. And then Krishna said, okay, I'll look for all the calves which had wandered away. And he just took the curd rice in his hand and he was just walking around to see where the cows are. And meanwhile, Brahmaji came and hid them. So Balrama was not there, so he didn't know all this happened. And so he didn't suspect anything. And after almost a year was over, just 4-5 days remaining, that time only he asked Krishna what happened? Why? One day when they were all, with the calves on the bottom of the hill, and then on the top, the cowherd men with the cows were there on the top. And suddenly Balrama saw sudden surge of affection from the cows. They all came charging down to give milk to their calves and lick them up like anything. Normally, cows don't run after the calves. Calves only go to their mothers to drink milk. But here, like they were so attracted to the calves. They were not more attracted to the calves than even Krishna. Normally, the cows will go running towards Krishna, but here they were running after their calves. And the men, they saw all their sons below. They also came charging. I mean, they came actually to take care of their cows. But when they came down and they saw all their sons, they also felt so much affection. They started embracing them and all that. So, what is this? How come they're more attached to their own sons than even Krishna? Then he thought, oh, something is amiss. Then he asked Krishna, what is this? Why is it all happening? Who are these boys? And all that. He got suspicious. And Krishna told him everything. So, like that, Balramji is, a complete, inseparable HD camp of Krishna. Even in the Chaturvyuha, Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyamna, Aniruddha. Sankarshana is Balramji. So there is no way. I mean, when you take Krishna's name, Balramji also has to be there, just like Radha Krishna and Krishna Balaram, Ram Lakshman. So they are completely inseparable. And so in our devotion also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very particular. You have to first go to Nityananda Prabhu. Don't come to me directly. If you are devoted to Nityananda Prabhu, you will get my mercy also. So that is how important he is for our spiritual lives. And really, we should beg mercy. Please forgive all our offenses, Balramji, and please give your mercy and all your strength so that all our anarthas are destroyed and we can experience Krishna Prem very soon. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Anything anyone wants to add or any questions?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Mataji, Balram is also expansion, expansion or expansion of Krishna. So he also did not become old, Mataji, when he came. He did past him. He was also looking like young like Krishna all the time.
Of course. He's like incidental body, na?
Okay, Mataji. Just I want to ask.
He's also eternally young. Yeah. Okay, then we go for prayer.